Arizona Disabled Sports today, and next one, yeah. Anybody in the room, these guys can shoot an arrow better than you. So, like especially that guy in the wheelchair with the glasses, he's hitting at 100 yards at least, long range. He maybe only missed the target twice all day. So, yeah, if it was, you know, medieval Europe and they're on a castle wall, I'm scared. Okay. So, next one. So, I mean, it's just like any other athlete or anybody who goes to something like this. You're gonna get you have people who are really chill about it and people who are more competitive. And the organization seems to really accommodate, you know, both. So, continue with the next, please. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about the organization itself, you know, kind of what we did a little bit, and we're also going to be talking about, you know, the kids themselves. And, you know, it was really fun. We had fun and stood around and then had fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it off to Jawad here, and he's gonna talk about the organization.
So what's Arizona Disabled Sports? Started in 1989, has been providing year-round opportunities for individuals with all type of disabilities from across the state of Arizona. Arizona Disabled Sports is allowed to host programs in Tempe and Scottsdale, sponsored and grants from outside of Mesa. For example, when I first came here to Arizona, I am from an island, so I like to walk by the beach. So I went to Tempe Lake instead of the beach.
Very similar.
Yeah, and I see these guys, like, especially in the weekends, they have a lot, like, huge group, and they all, like, and I was wondering who brought them all together. So I asked an older man who was there. I asked him about. At that time, I don't have a good English, like I don't even understand. So he told me it's an organization and stuff like this, and I just said nice. And, so the Arizona Disabled Sports developed as a trade name of MASD in 2007 because of the unique nature of the programs offered by the organization. Participation is limited for people, for residents in Mesa, Arizona. So participants in the adaptive programs have resided through the metropolitan Phoenix area and the entire state of Arizona. For this reason, among others, the organization began doing business as Arizona Disabled Sports. Next. So, Arizona Disabled Sports is just a trade name for the organization. The Mesa Association of Sports for the Disabled remains the legal name of the non-profit organization. MASD is separate non-profit organization dedicated to providing adaptive sports and recreation to individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities in Mesa. In short, this video will explain more and give you a summary about what I just said and more details about Arizona Disabled Sports.
Since 1989, Arizona Disabled Sports has been providing year-round opportunities for individuals with all types of disabilities from across the state of Arizona. Azds has been a leader in providing quality special events and sports competitions on a local, national, and international level. Our vision is a community that empowers individuals with disabilities while helping build a better quality of life for each participant. This is the primary mission of Azds, to provide a wide variety of programs and activities so that no one will have to sit on the sidelines. Through participation, athletes realize individual accomplishment, self-esteem, and respect, not only for themselves, but also respect for others. Team Mesa Bulldogs offer adaptive sports and recreational programs for individuals ages 8 through adulthood with an intellectual or developmental disability, while Arizona Heat adaptive programs are offered to individuals ages 6 through adulthood with a physical or visual disability. There has never been a better time to get involved. We invite you to join our team. Become an athlete, coach, sponsor, or volunteer. We want your involvement. Together, we'll continue to strive in making the vision of Azds a reality, and let no one sit on the sidelines.
Now Kenzie will tell you more about what we did there.
Okay, so just like Jawad showed and the video showed, there's tons of sports and it really is for everybody. So when we were trying to sign up, it's really easy to sign up. You just go on their website and then there's a whole list of the times, the dates, and then the activities. And as we were scrolling through, everything was full. There was like no openings for so long. So we finally found one for archery. So we signed up and we showed up at Mesa High School. So it's just some high school that's super easy to get to. And we showed up, and there actually wasn't a lot of kids when we first got there, so it was kind of confusing because this thing sounds so great, and there was so many volunteers. We were like, what happened? Why is it so empty? And so we were trying to figure out where we were supposed to go, and once we found the area, we kind of waited around, and we're told, oh, let's just set up first. So we started putting up the flags and the targets and all the other equipment for the archery practice, and then as soon as everything was all set up, then tons of kids just showed up, and we had all of these kids coming, and they're kids and adults, but tons of people came, and then they just started their practice. And like Jawad said, some of them were really competitive, and some of them were just having fun, talking to their friends. Some of them were really, really good, and others were missing a couple times, but they were just enjoying it. So there was two groups that came. There was the first group that comes at about 7:30, and then the next group comes at 9. So we were able to spend time with a group of people for an hour and a half or so. And so we got to, pretty much we were just there to talk to them and to hang out a little bit, and then we would pick up their arrows after they shot. So everyone would go through 10, 15 arrows, then all the volunteers go out, pick them up, and bring them back. So it's pretty simple, but it's actually a lot more fun than it sounds. And then at the end, everyone that was there to participate left, and we cleaned up the equipment and the targets, and we helped put everything away, and that was it. So it's really easy, like anyone could do it, but it's also a lot of fun just to see how much fun they're having, and you actually end up having a lot of fun too, even though you're just picking up arrows. So now I'm going to turn to Cody for what else we learned.
So one thing I like that Mackenzie said is how we were there just to like talk with them and be with them, and then also pick up their arrows. Because when I was reflecting on this project, I realized something, that our role there on paper was to pick up their arrows. But honestly, I think we did more service in just being there as a fan and cheering them on, and just being able to make them feel like someone there cared about how they're doing, and it was really cool to see that. So as I was reflecting, I realized that I personally was affected by this project in 3 ways. I got to witness and to feel true happiness. I got to witness determination, and I got to feel determination and kind of learn about how to have more determination in my own life, and then also inspiration. I got to see some inspired kids with inspired leaders, and that inspired me in turn. Go to the next slide. Along with, cheering on some of the people and just being kind of like their fans, I mean, I don't know how to say this, like, they didn't necessarily, like, a lot of them didn't need us to go pull their arrows. For example, there was this old guy who, he would shoot his couple arrows, and then when they said the line's clear to go get him, he'd go out, and he'd be pulling them. He was very slow at doing it, and by the time I helped my person, I could go over and help him. But every time I helped him, he would just start telling me stories. He'd just start talking to me about how he used to be one of the best archery shooters that there was, and he used to do it competitively, and now he's just barely getting back into it, and how grateful he was that he has this opportunity to come do it here. And I just thought, this guy just needs someone to listen to him. And I thought that was the coolest thing, to be able to give him an ear. These guys, along with my main 3 points of the inspiration, all of these guys, like Mackenzie and like Jawad was saying, there's some, and Isaac even, some of them were awesome, and they could hit the dead center every time. And then there was, this one girl who, she was happy that she made 2 onto the target at all. She was just happy they touched the target, and hers was only 15 yards. And so she was just happy she got it. And each time, I remember talking to her and being like, all right, well, next time let's get 3 in the target, and she didn't care where they were. The next time let's get 4. And by the end of it, she could never get 5, but at the end she was like, maybe next week we'll get 5. And I thought that was really inspiring to see that she didn't even care. She just wanted to get them on the target, and she was going to try every time to be one better than she was before. And I think that goes along with determination. She wasn't making excuses. No one was making excuses. There was one girl there, for one of the best there, who would bring her walker up, and she was a young girl, probably 10, 11, and she would turn it, and then she would grab her arrows, and she would lean kind of on the walker to shoot the arrows, and she was hitting, dead center every time. So she was determined to not let the fact that, she had a disability affect her. And I thought, how many times do I let myself make excuses? How many times do I let myself make excuses for things that are ridiculous? Like, oh, I couldn't get that done because, I was just too tired, and it made me realize that, I could work on that. And then true happiness, like, there was 2 girls who were both very young, probably just barely old enough to be even there, 8, and then maybe like 10. And you could tell that they had met probably there before, and they knew each other's names, and they were next to each other, and the whole time they were just cracking jokes at each other. They were making fun of each other. One of them had this ducky blanket, and the whole time she just kept saying, ducky, and she'd shoot her arrow, and she'd say, ducky, and every time, like, she'd ducky for everything. Like, you'd be like, what's your name? Ducky. Like, she just said it all the time. And then the other girl would kind of tease her about it, and be like, don't you know any other words besides ducky? And she'd look at her and say, ducky. And it was super cute, super fun. These guys were making the best out of everything. They were enjoying it. I was like sitting there like, man, it's so early, I should be in bed. These guys were making the best out of everything. They didn't care that it was early. They were happy to be out doing something. And I just thought that was a really good way to look at life. And along with these 3 points, again, the project itself, taught me a lot as well. The leaders there are making a difference, because there's a lot of work that goes into this. Everything that Mackenzie talks about, the setup and everything like that, it took a while, and they're loading it up into a truck and driving the targets down. These targets are pretty heavy, believe it or not. And they're doing this every single week. I thought it was a lot of work to do one weekend, but they're doing it almost every single week, and they love it. They have smiles on their faces. The coaches are giving tips and trying to help them feel like that they're going to get better, and giving them tips on how far to pull back the arrow and just things like that. And that, as they're teaching them, these guys aren't giving up. Like, there's back to that girl who was trying to get it onto the target every time, like I literally easily, I don't even shoot at archery, I could tell what she was doing wrong. And you know, she would go like this, you know, instead of like pulling it back, whatever. But the archery coaches, they didn't like get mad at her like, oh my gosh, like how do you not see that you're doing this wrong? But they were just determined to, you know, be kind to them and help them realize that it's okay and we'll just keep getting better. But they'd remind them, pull it back a little farther this time. And she'd remember for maybe 2 shots, but then 2 shots later she was forgetting to pull it back again, and they'd come back and remind her, they'd pull it back a little farther. And I was like, man, that would be hard. Like, that would be hard to have the patience, but they're just determined to help, and I love that. And then along with that, I just think the joy that all 4 of us were able to receive from helping these people, that was like immeasurable. Like I could have been sleeping that morning. That's what I do on Saturday mornings because it's my 1 day a week that I actually have late work and I could sleep in, and so going into it I was a little bitter, but walking away, like I can't even tell you like how big of a blessing it was to be able to just be out there. And I was thinking about it, I was like, look at all this wasted time that I could be doing something else and I'm really making a difference. And I felt that happiness, and I think that I'm going to be going forward a little more determined, a little more inspired, and I'm going to seek after that happiness that they showed me. And let me just turn it over to Isaac. He's going to kind of summarize everything we've gone over today and wrap us up.
So we're almost out of time here. You know, just kind of running through the whole thing again. You know, it's a pretty big organization. They do a lot of different stuff, and they've got different centers that they work kind of in concert with. But, you know, it's not limited to archery. You know, they do have other sports. You know, on the other side there was the track and field, and I know they've got that, I don't know what it is, it's that roller derby looking thing. You know, other sports like basketball, we didn't really get to see the indoor portion, just kind of out near the track field and off to the side. But it's much bigger than what we did. And as far as, you know, the people themselves, it's a really good vibe. You've got very encouraging coaches. You've got coaches that are willing to give instruction. And, you know, nobody really complains. Nobody gets mean and nasty. It's, you know, everybody there is allowed to participate at their own level, you know, so there's no pushing, you know, none of that, you know, crazy, what do you call it, like that little league thing where the dads get all like drinking, drunk, and fist fights. So no, there's none of that. So yeah, if you ever want to, you know, just come check it out, you know, it's the 21st century. Follow that link up there, and you could go ahead and look like Blade. So that's pretty much it.
So did you guys actually shoot those?